This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about CJ Gardner Johnson, why he wasn't made a captain, and we're going to talk about it. Also, we're going to talk about Jihad Dotson being heavily involved on the offensive side of the ball. Lastly, the locker room vibes are back, but let's get straight into it. All right, man. Before we get straight into it, let's talk about a couple things, a couple roster moves. So, Eagles signed back Jack Driscoll. Welcome back. Well, old faces back in a new place, whatever you call it. I don't know the term, but Jack Driscoll is back. He's back, and we need O line depth. And Jack Driscoll always been, I won't say solid or really, really good, but he's been decent when his number is called. It's times I've seen him get beat, and there's times I've seen him hold his own. So the Eagles signed him back. I think this was a smart signing. On Kyle Phillips from Tennessee, really good slot receiver. We, I guess, cut or released Caden Stearns, the safety that's been hurt. Not sure why. We signed him anyway, and the tight end Fulches, I believe that's his name, had a decent preseason, but we had to make room. And Jack Driscoll, welcome back to the team. Kyle Phillips, welcome to the team. And I want to go over the injury report. There were some names on there, and there was a new name on there. So you had A.J. Brown and Landon Dickerson, but those guys were resting. But I seen Isaiah Rogers. We knew he had an injury. He was limited with that hand injury. Wasn't sure what it was, but now it has to be reported. And Devin White was limited with an ankle injury. I haven't heard any injuries from Devin White until today. So hopefully that ankle is fine. And this might be the excuse to have N'Kobe Dean starting. But we will see. We will see how Devin White hold up. I don't think Devin White missed a game or anything like that. It is just limited. And, hopefully these guys are available to play. We need Devin White. We need Isaiah Rogers. So, yeah, hopefully they're available to play. Again, it wasn't like they missed the whole practice. They were limited. They should be good. And then the A.J. Brown, Landon Dickerson thing, just resting, probably preparing for the game. All right, so let's get into the topics. Let's talk about C.J. Gardner Johnson. So, LB, Linked Up Podcast, I got to salute them. Simone Stanley, LB, and Tone DeShields got a really good podcast. I tune in all the time. I don't get a chance to comment because I'm listening as I'm working, but they got a really good podcast. And LB, he got to a point where he was talking about a particular thing about CJ Gardner Johnson. Like, we should have threw him as the captain because he's vocal. They listen to him. They seen things that he done in the league. And let me play the clip from this podcast.
Somebody who will run through a wall. They will follow a player like CJ Gardner Johnson. That's the type of guy that you make a captain. You know what I mean? It's not because of you don't think he got the qualities. You got to make Gardner Johnson a captain, whether he like it or not. You got to let him understand the responsibility that he has. Some guys you just got to throw in that position because you see something in him that they might not see in themselves. He might not even have shown captain traits, bro. He might not even want to be a captain. You know what I mean? But some people you just got to make a captain. And he will, the leadership qualities that he naturally got, like pulling guys to the side, getting guys together, that goes up times 10 because he wear that C. He'll wear it proud. I think they should have made that dude the captain.
You see, that clip made airwaves on Twitter. And CJ Gardner Johnson seen it and he responded to it. And his first response was deleted. But I think this was a real response. It's something we need to watch. He said, I ain't become captain. Long story short, they like who they like. Just ball and hush, I guess. Shh, deeper than you think. So this tells me that CJ Gardner Johnson is outspoken. Everybody knows that. But they want him to be a different guy to get that C on his chest. And it seemed like he like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna talk my talk. That's who I am. Because CJ, anytime you talk about coming back to the Eagles, and they were like, is there a particular player or this and that you connected with? All he be like, nah, I really love the fans. I love the grittiness of the city. But he don't really talk about anybody particular on the roster. I know, like, I was watching his interview with RG3. He mentioned, like, vets like BG, Lane Johnson. Vets that been in the league for a long time. But I never really see him mention his peers. Not saying he had problems with them, but calling people out can probably rub people the wrong way. So I found one of the older tweets when he got on Cooper DeJean, for example. And he even tweeted out like, I did not come here to be liked. I came here to win. You know, some people probably felt some type of way. Like he calls these young dudes out. If you were messing up, he's gonna call you out and probably embarrass you. So he's one of those type of dudes, and you know he ain't get the votes. It is what it is. It is what it is. So while he don't have the quote unquote C on his chest, he know he's a captain basically. He know these dudes respect him and you know listen to him. He's not one of them lousy players that's just talking. He plays at a high level. So I think it's more of a politic thing. And then he even, you know, went back, deleted that tweet, and then he had this to say. The badge don't make me, but one thing about it, I'ma stand on what I believe and just ball. See, it sounds more like a political thing. They want to hush CJ, just play ball at a high level. Probably want to be more modest and more clean at the podium. And they probably just don't want a captain that's just, you know, unfiltered. They don't want an unfiltered captain. No offense to the captains that's on the team, like AJ and all them, but CJ can really get unfiltered. He will go back and forth with a fan. He don't care. He will go at a fan. He don't care. So that's who CJ is, and again, it could have been one of those things. That's why he like, I'm mean, just ball. I'm a ball, and I respect CJ Gardner Johnson for this. Now, this one could be a little reach because then after all this happened, he even put out like a story. Maybe it's something going on with his personal life, but this is what he had to say.
Y'all be doing me dirty. You know what I say? Chalk it to the game. Chalk it to the game.
See, that one could be a little reach. I'm not sure if he's talking about the locker room or anything like that. Again, it could be like a friend on a personal level. So I really don't know. I don't want to make any speculation of that. I'm just going by far as what I seen on his Twitter about training camp and far as him responding on not being a captain. But let's talk about the locker room vibes. Let's get into the positive vibes, man. So Jalen Carter was talking to the reporters about like, you know, Fletcher Cox and stuff being gone. And this is what he had to say.
Summer without Fletcher Cox in terms of a leadership perspective.
Leadership is different. You know, we all young. I just seen a photo that said we. Oh yeah, thank you. I just seen a photo that said we was like the third youngest group as a D-line or something like that. You know, it's different. You know, we young, but we still out here learning. We got a good coach in our hands, and you know, we just here to get better.
Is there one?
Do you hear the background? Like it seemed like a positive vibe. Like they saying we love you, Jalen Carter. The vibes are definitely back. You know, it seemed like a really good cohesive locker room, and even like CJ Gardner Johnson talked about Nick Sirianni, and let me play this clip as well.
Right now, heading into week one.
We all feed off of Coach Nick. We all backing Coach Nick. We already understand. He set the standard. We go out there and we live through him. Like I said, it's coach fed, player led. I think the biggest thing for us this year is understanding who we are, and chiming out the outside noise. We know what we're capable of. We know we're one of the best teams roster put together in the league. We got to go out there and prove it. X's and O's ain't gonna win the game. It's all about going out there physically battling and doing what we need to do for 4 quarters. Us going out there and winning a football game is showing y'all that Coach Nick is doing everything he need to do for this team. Going out there and just competing at a high level and like I said, scoring football on offense, stopping guys on defense. That's what Coach Nick's preaching. That's what we're gonna do. So we're always behind our play. Our talk don't mean nothing.
So yeah, it seemed like everything is positive. Everything is going in the right direction. The players are playing for each other. We know CJ Gardner Johnson is a big fan of Nick Sirianni, so everything is just flowing right. We need the positive locker room vibes because us Eagles content creators, even the fans, everybody's seen it. Like something's off with the locker room last year, but this year it seemed totally different. It's totally different, and I'm happy about that. Going to week one, try to get this win. Positive vibes are good. We got the players, so let's keep it this way. And let's get into the last topic, Jahad Dotson being heavily involved in the offense and Kellen Moore spoke about it, and let me play this clip.
I think everyone who went through the draft process saw the great talent that he was, and we were really, really excited about that opportunity. He'll be a great piece to our offensive process, and excited to let him kind of build that role as we go. Obviously, when you come in, during the season, I think you let him just keep growing, and we'll keep finding where that role presents itself. But he'll be certainly a nice aspect of this thing, and he'll be heavily involved.
Pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. A guy that just got here is heavily involved in the offense. We need that. And Jahad Dotson, he's going to be a weapon. While he might not going to get as much targets, but I think he's one of those dudes when his number is called, it can be a big game. And he could take advantage of like his one-on-one matchups because there's going to be mismatches a lot on Jahad Dotson. And he got to take advantage. And I believe he will. And that's why a guy like Kellen Moore is like, yeah, he's going to be heavily involved for sure. Saquon Barkley and Jahad Dotson, those two specifically, it's a big opportunity for them. And I can't wait for them to show the world Friday while they Philadelphia Eagles. We got 2 more days, y'all. 2 more days. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? CJ Gardner Johnson, how we feel about that? Also, Jahad Dotson. And the locker room vibes are back. But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm up.